What's up, everybody? Circus here, coming at you with the top 5 decks of the week. What, Kamel?
What? We finally went top 5 again?
It's been a while, hasn't it?
Oh my. Maybe the ban list did its job after all, right?
You think so? You think it's going to be any different this time? You think number 1's going to be different?
Maybe not as dominant. Well, we shall see.
All right. So if you're new here and you don't know what we're doing, each week we track decks as they're played in tournaments around the community, and then we see how they finish, and then we assign them points, and then we rank them. So if a deck gets a first place finish, it's going to get 6 points. A second place finish is 4 points. A top 4 is 2 points, and a top 8 is a single point.
That's right, Circus. And to make sure the power rankings stay consistent, all of the tournaments we track have to have the same format, that being rounds of Swiss into a top cut, and the deck format being a 1 deck plus a 7-card side where you can side in skills. And the tournaments that met that criteria this week were the Battle Phase Series, the Meta Series, the Ruby League, and Maker Cup tournaments.
Yeah, so it's nice to see Ruby League and Maker Cup back this week. So welcome back, you guys.
Bringing us to 9 tournaments? 10? 9?
Quite a
How
few.
many is that?
You're making me count.
We got 10. We got 10.
Don't do that to me. I don't like having to think. All right, guys. Let's get right into number 5.
That's gonna be game. Harpy Ladies swooping.
Number 5 this week, Harpies. What? I thought this deck was dead, Kamel. I'm glad to see it back. This is one of my favorite decks from this era or whatever, this meta that we've been in. I'm just glad to see him back.
Yeah, and this week, Harpies are back. They were really struggling to even place in the top 8 of tournaments in the past couple weeks due to the Onomat domination, but Harpies has found some strength again because they are really capitalizing off of a lot of the decks that are popping up with specific strategies to counter Onomats. One matchup specifically, Harpies has a very good Gimmick Puppet. A Gimmick Puppet matchup. Gimmick Puppet is a deck that came into the meta to really counter Onomats. Harpies have kind of really pushed them out of the meta, I feel. That's just one example, but yeah, Harpies finding their place, picking up the breakthrough skill. That is a pretty good card that you can use with them. It is activatable twice, and it can proc your Cyber Slash even while in the grave.
Oh, that's
pretty
really
insane,
nice.
right?
Yeah, that's great.
Pretty busted.
The representation's pretty good too. A lot of people say, Harpies are dead, they're moving on, but still 83 people playing. It's pretty good for a deck that's considered not to be the best right now.
Yep, definitely. Harpy's back row strategy along with Cyber Slash is still really strong. The smaller version of the deck, I do believe, is the way to go now because
definitely,
you need every single bit of consistency you can get in order to compete with Onomats, and the 30-card deck just was not doing that. So seeing your Harpy monsters right away, seeing the few versatile spell and traps that you need to get your follow-up, and Harpies they're doing their job right now.
All right, so welcome back, Harpies. Oh, how I've missed you.
rankings.
That's right. All right, let's take a look at number 4.
Absent chat for ninjas. They're done.
Here's a deck that can shut down just about anything during the battle phase, right?
Yeah, Gaia is here.
Yep.
However, the inclusion of a lot of back row removal from a lot of decks are really shaking this deck up. I've seen in recent weeks compared to some in the past. A deck like Harpies, we just talked about a deck like them coming back into the meta. That is not a great matchup for Gaia. A lot of your defense that you set up without your monster being out is just very easily removed because you don't really have immediate answers to the Harpy monsters themselves. It's very easy to bait out Gaia if you are a back row deck and you can, threaten their strategy before they enter the battle phase. But Gaia does get its strengths from facing less proactive decks. So a deck like Onomats that does not do too much interrupting of their opponent, Gaia does very well against them.
If you check this out, representation on Gaia only 50, so that's quite a bit less than Harpies. But look at those top 8 finishes, quite a few.
Yeah,
more.
the deck performs. The deck is very explosive, and I think that is that is its biggest strength right now. I cannot talk today.
That's okay. That's okay. You're flabbergasted by 5 decks to talk about this week.
I know, dude.
We've
so
had it
many
easy
details.
just doing one each week, but no,
Mhm.
you got to put in the work today. All right. Welcome back, Gaia. Let's take a look at number 3.
All right. I think that's it, boys.
And probably the biggest surprise on the power rankings
Yeah,
this week,
man.
with 2 tournament victories.
J-Dog, take him back.
Oh,
Ritual Beasts
he
are
almost
back.
did it. He almost did the thing.
They're back on the power rankings. And, dude, this deck is disgusting. It's a stall deck.
Oh, I know. Look at that back
It is
row.
a stall deck, dude. I had to
They're only-
stop asking the tournament because this week there were so many slow decks.
What?
Ritual Beasts made a resurgence, Fire Kings, Witchcrafters. It was the week of the slow decks in the
Dude,
DLE tournaments. To be
There's only
honest.
one Ritual Beast back row card. Remember they used to run the spell cards and everything?
Ambush,
Now it's just...
Return, the other one.
Yeah,
That is just because you got better traps, baby.
just
You
look
can
at that.
control your opponent so effectively because right now in the meta, everything falls victim to the traps you see on the screen. Onomats, they cannot survive against you if you win the 3 traps. You will win the duel eventually. You will
Right.
grind them out because you will Fiendish Chain, you will Canadia, you will make it so that they cannot Xyz summon, and you'll be contact fusing, you'll be swapping out your pedal fins
You'll be
several
doing the
times in a
thing,
turn.
yeah.
You'll be doing the thing. And then you have endless trap hell.
Well, this is what we always say all the time. It's like, how do you know your deck is getting old? It looks like this, all those traps.
It looks like
yeah.
this.
Yeah, that's what happened to Shiranui and Element Sabers and all kinds of decks. After a while, they just
So, however, I will say the fact that Ritual Beast is creeping back up into the meta, that means the meta is pretty weak right now. Overall, we're starting to see the cracks. Of course, we're starting to see other decks climb back in, but back row Ritual Beasts is the 3rd place deck this week. If it
Right.
does it next week as well, we may have to look at things again because we are starving right now. Ritual Beast is in 3rd place.
We're seeing a pattern here between 5, 4, and then 3 here. Each one has less representation, but they seem to be doing better
They're
than
absolutely clapping. I know.
Yeah, 2 tournament victories with only 22 people playing the deck, so
That is huge.
that's huge.
There was a mirror match in Ruby League then in the finals.
Oh yeah, it was. Oh, can you imagine?
Oh yeah, I'm glad it wasn't glad that they cast that tournament.
Whoever had to do that, I'm sorry. All right. Yeah, let's take a look at number 2. Maybe they only have 10 people playing that deck. We'll find out.
Hot Red Archfiend Bane is lethal.
Okay, so this one does have 81 people playing the deck, and that's a pretty good amount. Resonators, they got just beat up for a long time, but now they're back and in 2nd place with 26 points, 1 tournament victory, a bunch of 2nd place finishes. So a pretty good week for them in a time where people are like, this deck is like Harpy's just falling out of the meta.
Right. I think they've kind of found their place again, returning to the Solemn Scolding inclusion.
Mhm.
I know there are still people playing the Plasma version. That one is still doing very well, and it is pretty good. It just about deals with everything in the meta right now. But not too much changed for Resonators. I would just say that Onomats aren't as, they aren't that much better than Resonators as they were before.
Mhm.
They do their job a little bit less consistency. Like Resonators now, it is easier to pinpoint, when Onomats are going to get very strong. Obviously, on their skill activations, and most Onomat decks are only choosing, they have 2 power spikes when they draw those 2 cards, and Resonators is very good with dealing with those cards when they come out. They've got the Breakthrough skill, they've got the Solemn Scolding, the Doom Caliber Knight, so they have answers to pretty much any effect that you can bring out to stop them.
Mhm.
That being said, their turn 1 is really good. Going second, though, you may find yourself, pretty weak since this deck does not run. The only back row removal it does run is Cosmic Cyclone and MST. You might run into problems if you're up against multiple of them.
Right. So I'm just glad to see it back because this is another deck I played a little bit and it's fun. It doesn't have a lot of plays, but it's still enjoyable. And I'm just glad to see decks scoring points again because I know domination was just so much, and now spoiler alert, we're getting ready to do number 1 here. So obviously Onomats, you know, clapping, but it's good to see other decks getting some of these first place finishes and second place finishes rather than just Onomats entirely in the top 4. You know,
Most definitely.
all right, let's just get to it. I wonder what number 1 could be.
Man, who cares about it? No one cares about this, right? Does anyone care what's happening on the screen right now?
All right, the most important thing
right.
about this slide is the guy that won. You see who that is?
Norrentino.
Our
he
boy.
is a DLE mod. Norrentino.
That's right.
Congratulations, Meta Weekly champion. Good job winning it, bringing it home for DLE gang.
But we're going to have
He
a little
was-
talk about playing Onomats, but
Yeah, dude. I mean, he was only playing 2 Book of Moon. We can give him a break, right?
it sounds like he needs a raise, huh?
Oh boy, but yeah, pretty basic Onomat deck here. People are getting creative with the flex spots that you have for
Mhm.
back row, notably here the Forbidden Chalice, Venus Chain, and Canadia. You can really afford to run those cards at 1-ofs because pretty much any other card that you draw, you're going to be swapping in and out. But of course, besides, I believe we talked about it last week, but besides the semi-limit change, Onomats are still in a very good position. Although the key points is tracking when they are going to set up for Gaia Sister and when they are going to set up for Gaia Head. I do believe that is the big change that happened to Onomats after the ban list, right? It all depends now whether you beat Onomats or not depends on how well you set up for their skill activations. If you have the back row, the monster effects, attacks to stop their key monsters when they come out, you win the duel. If you do not, and you get Onomatted, and you know they bring out the guy when you have nothing to stop it, then you lose.
Auto domination. All right,
But
guys.
yeah, dude, not such a surprise. However, Onomat's domination was not by that much this week.
It was like 27 points.
Not as much as last week, you know.
I think that's what it was. So, I mean, let's take a look here. It is, 27 points, man. 27 points.
It's double, dude. Oh, man.
I mean, it is what it is. I think Ryan and I were talking in one of the videos that Worlds, the competitors, one of the rules is they have to comply with the ban list that is supposed to be coming out before Worlds. So maybe this gets hit right before Worlds. We'll see.
Maybe. Who knows?
Maybe. All right. Let's take a look at everything else that happened this week. Overall representation. Well, what do you expect?
What do you expect?
Auto domination. What's next? Top 8 conversions. Ritual Beast. Let's go. Gaia, let's go.
Ritual Beast doing crazy. Yeah, Gaia and Ritual Beast doing very well. More people need to hop on those decks. They're very good against Onomats in the right hands.
But Onomats with 180 people playing it, 11%. That's still like one of the highest conversion rates we've seen.
That's very good.
Like in the history of the power rankings.
That's a phenomenal week for them.
Top 8 finishes. What do you expect?
Mm-hmm.
Well, look at this down here. Vendreads, Cyber Dragons, Fire Kings, TGs.
Won a tournament today, so they will be higher up on the power rankings next week. Crazy. Vendreads are actually a really good deck right now.
If you look at a lot of tournament reports, you see like top 32 graphics. You'll see, of course, like 10 Onomats, but then the rest of the decks are like 1 and 2 ofs. There's so many rogue decks or just other decks now. It's nice to see people doing that again. Overall scores, we looked at this a little bit, but yeah, 27
This
points.
is the big thing, yo. Witchcrafters, Fire Kings, dude. Be on the lookout. Witchcrafters are actually crazy right now. Something that you will probably miss if you don't watch tournaments. Witchcrafters and a lot of other slow decks like Fire Kings, like what was that other deck we was talking about? Ritual Beasts are doing very, very well right now. If you have the decks, dust them off. See what you can do with them. They're cracked right now.
Yep, Grit Witchcrafters, I guess, is pretty hot.
Yes,
because
Grit Witchcrafters.
They can take a hit or two, and then they get a turn or two to get set up, and then once they get doing their thing, they're hard to keep up with. So congratulations to them. Welcome back. And the tier list, are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
An actual tier list.
An actual tier list. Let's go. Wow. I'm liking the look of that.
Yep.
I'm liking the look of that, dude. Ritual Beast, Gaia, Harpies. sitting in tier 3. They need to prove themselves. They got to win some Onomat matchups next week.
Well, this is the first week, and like, is this our 6th week now of Ano domination? I think 6th or 7th week, and this is the first week where someone actually, where the other decks actually scored
Ano
points.
oppression.
Yeah. Oh my God! So, what do you guys think? Is it nice to see some decks scoring points again? I mean, it's not a lot. It's not a lot, but it was enough to.
It definitely feels like that in tournaments. You know, I'm not watching Onomats all the time. Other decks like Vendra, like. They're doing extremely well right now. The cracks in Onomats are about to show. I mean, they are starting to show.
Yeah.
So do not feel oppressed anymore.
That's right. All right. Let us know what you think in the comments below. We're going to get out of here, but you should get in the Discord because it's free. The tournaments are free and the new player help is free. I'm Circus. That's Kamel.
Peace out.
And we'll see you next time.